So when a wizard is the only enemy left in a battle, it will duplicate. Just like that. And there's actually a way to tell which one's the real one. Now, right now you can see it because of the HP bar with cheats, but there are actually 3 visual differences, as far as I can tell, that let you tell which one is the real one when it duplicates. So, the first you have to do with the shadows. We're going frame by frame for this just so that it's easier to see. Alright, so now it's gone, and now the shadows will appear, starting from where it originally was, then going to the far left side of the screen, then to the far right side of the screen, filling in any empty slot with a shadow, but skipping over where it originally was. So it was in the first slot, so it'll populate the second, third, and fourth slots. And now, on the next frame, wherever the real one is, the shadow will no longer be there. Like that. The fourth slot disappeared because that's where the real one is, so this is the first frame where we can actually tell for sure where it is. On the next frame, the hand shadows load in, and we can see that it's much lighter where the real one is. And this is the second difference. And it stays like that for a little bit of time, but eventually you won't be able to tell how long it is. I think it's only like around 7 or 8 frames or something like that. But there's actually a more subtle difference that is what I would recommend using. So when you hit a wizard and it duplicates, it disappears, right? It actually does not disappear. What actually happens is that it just becomes, its opacity gets really low, but it doesn't actually disappear. It's pretty hard to tell when we're going slowly, but it is visible, so right now I'll switch to a video so that you can better see what's going on, so that I can point it out with a mouse. Alright, so this is the frame before it disappears. And on the next frame, this is what it looks like, but you can still barely see it. Right here where the mouse is, you can see where the hands are. You can see that it's slightly blue. You can also see it like over here. These top 2 hands are where I personally like to see where it is. And it's going to stay there until it teleports to its new location. And that will happen, I think, the frame before there are 4 shadows loaded in. So that'll be when there are 3 shadows loaded in, assuming that there are 5 slots for it to be loaded into. You can see right there, it's teleported. Right here. And you can see that indeed that is where it is. So I've shown this to you at slow speed. You can go back and rewind it if you want to have a better look at it. but it's actually a lot easier to see this in full speed, because when you're slowing the game down and you're looking for it, it blends into the background, so it's kind of hard to tell. But at full speed, all that you notice is that there's something there. You don't actually get a clear view of it, but you know that there's some sort of flash of something right before the wizards appear, and that is where it is. And if there's no flash, then it hasn't moved at all. And I'm going to demonstrate this. You can feel free to use this as reference. It should be 4, I think. No, I messed that up. The hands can get in the way because they overlap. But anyway, I would recommend using this method. I think it's easier than looking at the shadows, because with the shadows, they're constantly changing, and they're relatively subtle changes that you're looking for. But when you're looking at the Elite Wizard itself, all that you need to look for is any difference at all, instead of a specific difference, and that I find is easier.